Welcome back to Crochet by Night. Tonight we're going to do a little pumpkin. We're going to crochet one little pumpkin. So if you will start by creating a slip knot. I'm using a 6mm hook. Insert your hook into the slip knot. And I'm going to crochet 2 chains. In the second chain, which is in the first chain that you created, I am going to put 12 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I'm using a 4-ply worsted weight yarn. This is just some old scraps that I had. Let me move that down off the table so we can see better. Okay, so once you've got your 12 single crochets in the center of that first chain, I'm just going to pull tight, closing that up. And then I'm going to put 2 single crochets in every stitch around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This will give us a total of 24 all the way around. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Once I have 24 single crochets all the way around, which was putting 2 single crochets in each of the 12, then I am going to slip stitch into that first stitch and close that round off. Next, I'm going to chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and I'm going to single crochet into the back loop only of all 24 stitches around. So the back loop is the loop that is furthest, whoops, let's see if I can get this, there we go, is the furthest from you. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, whoops, that was a little tight, 22, I pulled those a little tighter so it's going to be a little harder to get into it. Okay, pulled that one way tight, didn't I? That happens sometimes. When that happens, you just have to loosen it up a little bit. 23, and 24. Oop, 24. There we go. Okay, so once again we're going to slip stitch into the first stitch of that round, and then we're going to chain one. That does not count as a stitch, and we're going to do a half double crochet round, but we're going to do an increase round at the same time. So yarn over, insert your hook into the first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all three. So that's your first half double crochet. Next we're going to do 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all three, yarn over, insert your hook back in that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all three. In the next stitch we're just going to do 1 half double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all three on your hook. The next stitch is going to get 2 half double crochets. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, insert your hook back in that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all three. Next stitch only gets 1, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all three. The next stitch gets 2 for an increase stitch, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all three. Yarn over, insert your hook back in that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all three. So that's the pattern all the way around. You start with 1 half double crochet in the first stitch, and then an increase of 2 half double crochets in the second stitch, 1 half double crochet in the third stitch, an increase of 2 half double crochets in the fourth stitch, and you do that all the way around. That's the pattern, and I will meet back with you at the end, and you should have 36 half double crochets all the way around at the end of this row. Okay, at the end of this row you'll have 36 stitches all the way around, and you're just going to slip stitch into that first stitch, closing off that row. Next you're going to chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and you're going to half double crochet. The first stitch, however, is going to be a front post half double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook around the post, and you can see how I'm pulling that post up there. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all three. That's your first half double front post crochet stitch. We're going to do that 2 more times. Yarn over, insert your hook underneath the post of the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all three. 1 more time. Yarn over, insert your hook under that post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all three. Now we're going to do 3 single back post half double crochets. So yarn over, insert your hook behind the stitch. See, now we're in the back behind the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all three. Once again, back behind the stitch. Whoops. You yarn over, back, you go in behind the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all three. And 1 more. Yarn over, insert your hook behind, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all three. So you had 3 front post, 3 back post, and that's the pattern all the way around. So I'll do 1 more set of the pattern with you. Yarn over, we're doing a front post, so you insert the hook from the front, pull up underneath that whole post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3. 2 more times. Yarn over, insert, go up and around that post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. One more, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull up the whole post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. So that was a set of 3 front post. Now we're going to do 3 back post. Yarn over, insert from behind the stitch, around the post, yarn over, whoops, yarn over, insert from the back of the post, underneath it, yarn over, pull through, and pull through all 3. Let's do 2 more. Yarn over, inserting in the back, underneath the post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. And 1 more. Yarn over, insert from the back, underneath the post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. So we're going to repeat this all the way around. We'll have 36 stitches in all, so no increases, but you'll start with 3 front post half double crochets, then 3 back post half double crochets, 3 front post half double crochets, 3 back post half double crochets, all the way around, putting 1 single front post or 1 single back post around each stitch for 3 stitches, and then switching to the opposite. Do that all the way around, and I'll meet you back at the end. Once you get all the way at the end of the row, you've ended with 3 back post half double crochets. You're going to slip stitch to the first stitch in this round. You're going to chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and you are going to put 5 more rows just like that. I kind of turn mine in the opposite direction when I get to this point, because this is actually the bottom of your pumpkin and this will be the outside. So you're going to start back with the same pattern. You're going to yarn over, you're going to insert your hook underneath the post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3. And you're going to do 3 front post half double crochets and then 3 back post. 3 front post, 3 back post, all the way around for 5 more rows. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up the post because you're inserting behind the post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3. Yarn over, insert, and go around that post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3. Now you've got to do the 3 back posts, so you're going to yarn over and you're going to go in behind, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3. Oops. Yarn over, insert behind the post from the back side, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3. Yarn over, insert your hook and go up from behind around that post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3. And that's the pattern all the way around. 3 front post, then 3 back post. You should have 36 stitches at the end of this row. You will slip stitch and chain 1, which does not count, and then you will do a total of 5 more rows. So at the end of this, you will have 6 front post and 6 front post and back post rows. I will see you at the end of my rows. Okay, so when you're finished with your 6 rows, you'll see a definite definition of your front post half double crochets and back post half double crochets. So now I'm just going to, I had slip stitched, and I'm just going to clip my yarn. And I don't know if I told you in the beginning, but I'm using a 4-ply worsted weight yarn and a 6mm crochet hook. I'm going to give myself a really long tail for this one. So I'm going to pull through, and you can see, whoops, you can see how long that tail is. It's long, 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 long. It keeps going. I'd rather have too much than not enough. And I'm going to thread my needle. I'm going to kind of set that aside for a minute. And I'm going to use some polyfill, premium fiber fill that I just got at the local Walmart. It's just the polyfill premium polyester fiber fill. And I'm going to fill my pumpkin. So I'm going to stuff it pretty tight. And I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to thread in and out, all the way around. And if I want to, I can go ahead and pull that some. Because what I'm going to do is, as I'm pulling it, you can see it starts gathering. I'm going to gather the top by going in and out underneath that top 2 stitches of the last row. And keep pulling that, and I'm just holding my fiber fill in all the way around. Now you could probably gather it, and easily you could gather it and then fill it. I don't know why, but I just like to fill it first. I think it's because it's fun just holding it in. But you could definitely gather the top of it and pull it and then fill it. But either way, you're going to gather it and pull the top tight and have filling into it. Not a feeling like feelings, but a filling. Go all the way around. And almost back to the end. Gather it up. I don't know why, but I always think this is the fun part. And then I start to pull it tight. Alright, and you can see how it's starting to look. Now before I sew that closed, I'm going to take a tiny bit more, just a tiny bit of the filling and put in. Let's see if it'll go in. Pull that closed, and then I'm just going to sew that closed. So pull it tight and just start going in and out, sewing the top closed. Make sure to get under both strands. Keep sewing all the way across. Until it's closed. And then, once that's closed, you can see how your pumpkin is starting to form. I'm going to take this and I'm going to go right down, the needle right down through the center, and I'm going to pull out right in the center of that hole on bottom. And I'm going to pull kind of tight, and what that does is that creates the dent in the center where we're going to put our stem. And I'm going to hold that with my thumb and go around one of these stitches or two. And I'm going to leave it a little bit loose right there while I just pull that through and make a knot. And then just give that a couple of little stitches. And then I'm going to push it back through the hole and right back up through the center. All right, and you can see, let's see if I can move my camera up just a little bit so you can see what that's starting to look like. Now, I'm just going to set that completely aside, and I'm going to get my stem color. And guys, I really wish I knew what this color is, but it's, as you can see, just an old skein of yarn that I've had laying around for a long time. It's probably Red Heart, because that's mainly what I get when I'm just doing these quick and fast projects. I save the higher quality fibers for projects that I'm giving away, projects that are going to be worn, or for baby blankets. But the Red Heart yarn tends to have a pretty good structure to it when you're doing the amigurumi, which is what this pumpkin is. Okay, so here we're going to just start out with on the stem with a slip knot, and I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then in the back bump of my chain, I am going to slip stitch all the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so once I have my 8 slip stitches, I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and I am going to do a slip stitch in the back loop only all the way down. So you're going to find your back loop, and you're going to do a slip stitch all the way down, chain 1 and turn. And you're going to do this for 6 rows. So just chain 1, turn your work, and slip stitch all the way down in the back loop only for 6 total rows. Do that, and I will meet you back in just a moment. Once you have your 6 rows of slip stitches, back loop only, 8 stitches total, then we're going to give ourselves a tail here, pretty good sized tail, because we're going to sew it around. We're going to pull that tail through and tighten it. I'm going to get our needle, and we're going to just bend this together, bend it in 2, and start and sew the top. Whoops, I pulled that all the way around there, didn't I? Sew the top. I tell you, tonight I am having trouble gripping things. Sewing the top together, and then I'm going to go kind of a couple of stitches back the other direction, so that way I can get back to my side here that needs to be sewed, and I'm going to sew all the way down to close that side off. How exciting that this is making the stem. I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with. So if you do this, please add a picture to the YouTube side or go on Facebook and join my Facebook site and put some pictures on there. I'll put the link in the comments below the video so that you can communicate, because I'd love to see what other people make. Okay, so I'm already down here at the end. I've still got a hole in the center there, as you can see. I am now going to, because I want my stem to curve a little bit, I'm going to go up through the center, and you can see it's kind of curving a little bit. And I'm just going to put that needle all the way up through the center, and I'm going to pull it just a little bit. And then I am going to just sew in these ends. Just sew in the ends, maybe, if I can get a hold of it. Just need to sew them a couple of times, because you can hide them inside if you'd like. And I'm going to cut that one off. I've still got this hole right here, and now it's kind of given me an angle. I'm going to sew in this end. Once I get my needle free thread, there we go. I sew in this end. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Okay, and then remember on our pumpkin how we left that long tail coming right up through the center. I'm going to thread my needle again, and this is what I'm going to use to sew in on my stem. So I am going to figure out okay, so the end that has the opening right here, kind of on an angle, I'm going to set on there, and I am just going to start sewing it onto the pumpkin in the place I want it. You may need to play with the placement a little bit. I'm going to sew it all the way around. I did not stuff the stem. You can if you want to. I don't think it really needs it, but everybody has a different preference. And I'm setting my stem just a little bit off center, because I just don't think all the pumpkins are perfect. So I'm trying to just give it a little bit of pizzazz as I sew this in. Once I've got it all sewed in, I will stick my needle back through the pumpkin, and I'll show you in just a minute. Let me get this sewed in. You guys go ahead and sew in yours. This would be really cute, I think, for gourds also. But I'm never quite certain what color to make my gourds. Sew that in. Alright, and then I'm just going to take it, my needle, and put it back through, pull it out the bottom, and clip it off, and there you have it. You have your cute little pumpkin. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. If you did, please like and subscribe so that you know when new videos come out. Just hit that little bell. And again, I'm going to put the link to my Facebook page down in the comments. So hopefully you guys will communicate, because I'd sure love to hear from you.